General, what about it? Should Sheikh Khalid Mohammed be tried in New York? The administration has wanted to do that. Now they appear to be backing off that. Were you for that or against it?
I have no problem with him being tried in our federal system here in the United States. I would not have picked downtown New York. I would have picked, I don't know. I don't want to single out anywhere, but I think I could have found a military base or some facility far away from New York or a populated area where it would not become a circus.
Iraq, American troops are going to be coming home this summer. As you look back on it now, do you think it was worth the lives and the money that it cost?
We got rid of a terrible dictator. We gave the Iraqi people an opportunity for a new life under a representative form of government. I don't think we handled the aftermath of the fall of Baghdad as well as we might have. But that's now history, and I pay tribute to the young men and women who gave their lives and the Iraqis who lost their lives. But where we are now is the Iraqi government, the Iraqi people have their own destiny in their own hands. And we're pulling out, having given them the opportunity to have a better life and to create a better system that could be an example to the rest of the region. So history will ultimately make that judgment.
Afghanistan, we have a big operation going on there now. We put more troops in there. The Powell doctrine was you put an overwhelming number of troops in there whenever you go someplace. We didn't do it that way. How do you see this operation in Afghanistan right now?
I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing right now because we seem to have a comprehensive strategy. Some people say the president dithered in coming up with it, but he did come up with a strategy that reflects military force, reflects the use of our diplomatic and political forces and economic assistance. And the American Army or the American Marine Corps, you send a battalion in somewhere, they will clear it out. It isn't a matter of clearing out, it's a matter of what happens next. The enemy hasn't been defeated, the enemy has been pushed out. And so the whole success of this operation will hinge on the ability of the Afghan government to come in behind and put in place a functioning government, a non-corrupt police force, and security forces that will keep people from coming back, because the American battalions can't stay there forever.
Do you think that they are capable of doing that, the Afghan
government?
Right
now, I have doubts about their capability. I hope that over time that capability will increase. The Afghan National Army is improved, but clearly not up to U.S. standards yet. And the police force, they have a lot to prove. They don't yet have the confidence of the people. But I think it's a good comprehensive plan. I congratulate General McChrystal and Ambassador Eikenberry. We also recognize that Pakistan is part of that problem. And we're going after folks there with predators and other actions.
General, a new report out on Iran. It looks like they're still proceeding toward trying to develop a nuclear payload for a weapon. If, in fact, they get a nuclear weapon or are close to getting one, there's going to come a point where the Israelis are going to come to the United States government. And this debate is going on right now within the government, and I suspect you know that as well as I do. What do you tell the Israelis when they come to our government and say, we can't live with this, we're going to attack Iran? What should the U.S. position be?
I think the Iranians are clearly determined to have a nuclear program. And we have to assume that with a nuclear program, they have the capability and the will to create a nuclear weapon. I think that what you have to do now is to try to stop it at this point with sanctions and with discussions and negotiations with the Iranians. But if they actually cross that line, and I still think they're quite a ways away from being able to have a weapon.
But if they
ever do cross that line, I don't want to prejudge what the Israeli government might ask for or what an American government might say to an Israeli government in that instance. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I also still think that deterrence works. And the Iranians, if they ever get to that point, and I hope we can keep that from happening, it would be suicidal for them to use such a weapon or to think that they could terrorize the whole region with it.
We have about 30 seconds left. Al Haig died yesterday. You worked for him as a young officer. Your thoughts?
I didn't work directly for General Haig, but he was an inspiration to so many of us. He was a good soldier in combat. He moved rapidly through the general ranks and on the basis of his political work. But I think he did a great service for the nation during the last days of the Nixon administration. We should give him credit for that and pay my respects to him and his family.